Hello everyone, I am Avneet Kaur and this is the second video lecture of chapter 8, that is Cell Structure and Functions. In the previous video lecture, we learned about cell and its discovery. Also, we classified organisms into two categories on the basis of number of cells present in them. Moreover, we learned about the various shapes of the cells and also we studied size of the cells. In this video lecture, we will be learning about the various parts of the cells and difference between plant cells and animal cell. Let's begin with our first topic, that is parts of the cell. The basic components of a cell are cell membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus. The cytoplasm and nucleus are actually enclosed within the cell membrane, and cell membrane can also be called as plasma membrane. Cell membrane, it is the outermost body of the cell and it is made up of lipids and proteins. It is present in both plant as well as animal cell. This membrane is living, thin, and delicate. Now, what is the function of the cell membrane in a cell? Cell membrane plays a very important role in a cell. It provides support to the cell and gives a shape to the cell. Also, it is helpful in exchange of the materials. Moreover, cell membrane separates cells from one another and also the cell from the surrounding medium. It also allows the movement of materials in and out of the cell. So, it plays a very important role in a cell. Now, we know that cell membrane gives a shape to the cell. However, in plant cell, there is an additional thick layer which is called as cell wall, and it is present only in the plant cells. Now, all of you would be wondering why plant cells need cell walls? This additional layer surrounding the cell membrane is required by plants for their protection. Plant cells need protection against variations in temperature, high wind speed, atmospheric moisture, etc. They are exposed to these variations because they cannot move. On the other hand, animals can move and they can protect themselves from such kind of the variations in atmosphere. So, plant cells need cell walls for their protection. Therefore, cell membrane is present in both plant cell as well as animal cell, whereas cell wall is present only in the plant cell and is absent in animal cell. Cell wall, it provides mechanical support to the plant cell. It also allows the substances to pass through it. Coming on to the another important part of the cell, that is cytoplasm. Now, what is cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is the jelly-like substance which is present between the cell membrane and the nucleus. Various other components of the cells are present in the cytoplasm. The various kind of organelles like mitochondria, Golgi bodies, ribosomes are present inside the cytoplasm. You will be studying about all of these organelles in higher classes. Let's now move on to the most important component of the living cell, that is nucleus. Nucleus is generally spherical and is located in the center of the cell. It can be stained and can be easily seen with the help of a microscope. It consists of nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, nucleolus, and nuclear material. Now, let's discuss about each of the part of the nucleus in detail. Firstly, talking about nuclear membrane. What is nuclear membrane? Nucleus is separated from the cytoplasm by a membrane which is called as nuclear membrane. This membrane is also porous which means that it is having the pores which allows the movement of materials between the cytoplasm and inside of the nucleus. It is also called as nuclear envelope. As you can clearly see in this figure of the nucleus, the nuclear pores present in the nuclear membrane. So these pores allow the movement of materials between the cytoplasm and inside of the nucleus. Moving on to the nucleolus. Nucleolus is the small spherical body which is present in the nucleus. It also plays a very important role in a cell. In addition to this, nucleus contains thread-like structure which are called chromosomes. Chromosomes carry genes and help in the inheritance of characters from the parents to the offspring. So, chromosomes are basically ribbon-shaped and they have the point-like structures which are called as genes. Now, you would be thinking that what is a gene? Gene is a unit of inheritance in living organisms. It controls the transfer of hereditary characters from parents to offsprings. This means that your parents pass some of their characters on to you. Let's support this with an example. If mother has blue eyes and her daughter also has blue eyes, this is due to the hereditary characters. The transfer of characters from parents to their offsprings occurs through genes. So, nucleus plays a very important role of inheritance. In addition to this, it also acts as a control center of the activities of the cell. The entire content of the living cell is called as protoplasm. Protoplasm includes the cytoplasm and the nucleus. So protoplasm is called as a living substance of the cell. Here, Paheli wants to know something from you. She wants to know if the structure of the nucleus is the same in cells of plants, animals, and bacteria. The answer to this question is no. Actually, the nucleus of the bacterial cell is not well organized, like the cells of multicellular organisms. There is no nuclear membrane in such kind of the cells. The cells which are having the nuclear material without nuclear membrane are called prokaryotic cells. And such organisms with these kind of cells are called as prokaryotes. So, prokaryotic cells, they have the nuclear material, but they do not have the nuclear membrane. In this word, prokaryotes, the pro means primitive and karyon means nucleus. So, they have the primitive nucleus, which is not well organized as it does not have the nuclear membrane. On the other hand, cells like onion cells and cheek cells have proper, well-organized nucleus with a nuclear membrane. Such kind of cells are called eukaryotic cells. And all such kind of organisms are called eukaryotes. All the organisms other than bacteria and blue-green algae are eukaryotes. Here the word eu means true. So they are having the true nucleus present in them. Let's now study about the another part of the cell, that is vacuoles. In this figure, can you notice the blank looking like structures present in the cytoplasm? This is what we call as vacuoles. In plant cell, vacuoles are large and permanent. On the other hand, vacuoles in animal cells are much smaller. And the main function of the vacuole is that it is helpful in storing the various substances in it. Now, if you observe this figure carefully, in the plant cell, can you observe various small colored bodies which are scattered in the cytoplasm? These are called plastids. Plastids are of different colors. There are 3 types of the plastids, which includes chloroplast, chromoplast, and leucoplast. Leucoplast is colorless, chromoplast is colorful. On the other hand, chloroplast is green colored. It is known as kitchen of the cells because it helps plant to make food. In order to make food, plants need chlorophyll, which is present in the chloroplast. So, chloroplast is helpful in photosynthesis. Talking about chromoplast, chromoplast is colored and it imparts color to flowers and fruits. Whereas, leucoplast is helpful in storing food and fats, etc. Now, we have learnt about all the parts of the cells. So, with this, we can easily differentiate between plant cell and animal cell. Plant cell. First point, size of the plant cell is usually larger than animal cell. On the other hand, size of the animal cell is usually smaller than plant cell. Second, plant cells have a cell wall surrounding the cell membrane. On the other hand, animal cells only have a cell membrane. Cell wall is absent in animal cell. Third, plastids are present in plant cell. As plant cells contain chloroplasts which are used for photosynthesis. On the other hand, in the animal cell, plastids are absent. Talking about vacuoles, vacuoles are large in number and bigger in size in plant cell, whereas vacuoles are small in size and less in number in animal cell. So, this was all about the chapter that is cell, structure and functions. Now, we will have a brief summary of all the topics which we did in this chapter. Firstly, we discussed about cells and its discovery. Cells are the basic structural and functional unit of all the living organisms. Cells were first observed in cork by Robert Hooke in 1665. Secondly, we discussed about unicellular and multicellular organisms. The single-celled organisms are called unicellular. On the contrary, organisms which are made up of more than one cells are called multicellular. Then we learnt about shape and size of the cells. Cells may have different shapes like spherical red blood cells, spindle-shaped muscle cells, and long branched nerve cells of humans. Furthermore, we learnt that cell has three main parts: cell membrane, cytoplasm, which contains smaller components called organelles, and the nucleus. Nucleus is separated from cytoplasm by a nuclear membrane. After which, we did difference between plant cell and animal cell. Plant cells differ from animal cells in having an additional layer around the cell membrane which is called cell wall. So, cell wall is absent in animal cell and it is present only in the plant cell. Moreover, colored bodies called plastids are found in the plant cells only, and they are absent in animal cell. Apart from this, plant cell has a big central vacuole, unlike a number of small vacuoles in animal cell. There are two activities related to this chapter, that is to prepare temporary mount of onion peel and human cheek cells. The link of these activities will be given in the description box of this video lecture. So, this was all about this chapter, that is cell, structure and functions. Thank you.